Institutions have added to their GameStop position, but probably not for the reason we think, at least for a couple of them. Guys, I'm sorry this video is going up late tonight, but some of you are liking the night videos. I had a lot of stuff going on earlier, so I couldn't upload earlier, but here we are with the video. Make sure to watch until the end of the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment down below and let me know if you are making money navigating through these markets. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is gold being at $3,400 per ounce, which brings me to a stock that was just listed on the NASDAQ under ticker symbol BGL. Reason being, I'm bringing it up, well, yes, it's a sponsored stock, but the stock dropped from $165 on IPO down to $15, and this is the first public company on the NASDAQ tying physical gold assets to a blockchain-based token and digital wallet, aka gold safety backed by blockchain. So I find it pretty important and possibly more valuable than a $15 stock because gold just hit 3,400, aka trading right around all-time highs, and central banks have been hoarding gold in China, India, Turkey, etc., etc. Yet retail wants to buy in. They want gold, but physical gold is just inconvenient and it's not the way to go unless you want a little bit of it. However, on top of that, actually, ETFs charge fees as well, and crypto isn't backed by anything. But this company, BGL, is launching the Blue Gold Token, which is a gold-backed digital wallet tied to production. So you can own fractional future gold straight from the mine. Debit card, wallet, and tokenized ecosystem, aka you can actually spend it like cash, which I find is just crazy. So you'll own real gold before it's even mined, basically, and it's all tracked on the blockchain, which makes everything 100% transparent, and you can spend it like cash, so it's not really speculative. Also, they have massive in-ground resources, which you can see right here, and they're not over the counter. They're listed on the NASDAQ, which brings institutional backed investors putting eyes on it, and it's a big difference from very small penny stocks that are on OTC markets or other markets like that. Plus, their smart performance-based performance and their deals that they have made make them less risky for any future dilution. So I wanted to put this one on your radar. Again, this is ticker symbol BGL. Make sure to take a look at it. And without further ado, let's get on with the video. Bank of Montreal added over 2 million shares of GameStop, 2,136,926 shares, bringing their total position size to 55,234,082. Which is absolutely nuts. This is more and more institutions buying more and more GameStop shares, but at what point are these shares going to be, completely dealt with out of the float? And what is the reason for them doing this? Are they doing this for a squeeze? Well, some of them not necessarily. We had Scarborough Advisors LLC open a new share position in GameStop, but for only one share. Now, there are several reasons in company or institution would do this, but they're never good, usually, reasons. I mean, unless they're tracking it to possibly open a larger position, that could be one scenario, or they possibly want a lawsuit or something along the lines of that. We're going to keep an eye on this. Maybe they want to keep an eye on future price action, maybe because it's going to go to a price that is possibly going to lead them into increasing their position. GameStop also saw call activity rise today. And I want to talk about this because we saw a beautiful base on GameStop today. First thing we saw is GameStop inverted the SPY, which you're seeing right here from these two screenshots. This is what's called negative beta. This only happens a few specific times and a few different tickers, and it's not necessarily supposed to happen unless some sort of volatility event is coming, and you can see that with a little bit of a closer look in the charts today. So something was a little bit different. Now, we didn't get that pressure we thought we were going to get on the Japanese government bonds, at least yet. Again, it's still high pressure. It's near all-time highs. It's at 1.473%, just not 1.6 like we just saw it. But although we didn't get that pressure, we also see the baskets moving ahead of a possible move on GameStop, aka cost. We had about a 6% green candle today on barely any volume. We want to pay attention to the baskets that GameStop is tied to alongside its negative beta with the S&P 500, but also we built a very, very perfect base off of this cash buy share position zone, whatever you want to call it, aka GameStop's cash and net assets to where they can buy back the entire float. We bounced actually perfectly in this zone and I'll show you. Let me just get this off the chart. God, that's annoying. We bounced perfectly off of this zone, and boom, once again. So this is now our floor, but I love what happened here. This is the beginning of something promising, and again, it could be too early, but the way we built a base on GameStop, just this shallow move is building for these possible moves higher to 24 plus to 29 plus. And then we'll talk about gamma ramps and short squeezes and things along the lines of that. But ultimately, it's bringing us towards a zone that we want to recapture first, which is between, well, I would say there's a $24 zone, $24.30 or so that we want to capture before we get to between $26.60 and $29 or $28.81 if you want to be precise. That zone we want to recapture before we get into the high range where GameStop is going to come into the 30s and possibly following that short squeeze higher. Again, I just wanted to point this out that the chart did something pretty nicely today. For the week so far, this nice bounce off of this channel, making a possible cup and handle for GameStop to continue to climb. Is this the bottom? Possibly, likely as well, because every time we dip into the zone, I've pointed out that you get very, very, very harsh moves to the upside. August is usually a volatile month, and things are happening with the overall market as well. Now, XRT also, the ETF, the retail ETF that holds GameStop, is now reporting a 1,300% short interest, which I believe is the highest we have seen it. Unity has earnings coming up, and people are loading up call options on Unity for some sort of YOLO play. Is this Run Kitty? I don't really know. Who is this? Are they going to smash earnings? Again, keep in mind, this is likely pricing in positive earnings already, and you could see a smash down on Unity to trap everybody in, and a very quick move to sub $28, which would be, from where we're trading at right now, about a 16% drop, which is kind of what I expect on earnings. But again, expect the unexpected. Earnings are very risky. Same thing happened with Open today. Open is down 21% after hours. I played this to the upside, I'm not going to lie, and that is only because, one, I didn't play a large amount, but two, there was a lot more upside that I saw than downside. In other words, if they blew expectations out of the water and this was, shorts underestimated it and they re-got in here, I believe there was much more room for an absurd upside, possibly one of those ugly 50-60% after hour moves. Now, what happened? They missed. Market makers took advantage very, very early on, because if they hedged to the downside, or kept it net neutral, they would make more money than having this thing get out of hand and having to hedge by buying shares. So we saw the drop down 21%. That's a quick rundown of Open. I want to put HYMC on your radar. It's trading at 372. It built a base off of the bottom of this channel, getting a nice, beautiful pop, continuing to make higher highs and higher lows. I don't know what this price action is building for, but it's building for some sort of move. To what magnitude, I don't know. If I had to guess for the first move, I'd guess around $5.60. But are we building for a higher move? Are we building for some sort of crazy catalyst, or their next earnings report is building for something crazy? Possibly. Watch $7.30. Huge cup and handle. Watch for this thing to just gain some legs. Overall, if we did see some sort of catalyst with HYMC, I don't think it's going to last long. It's probably going to wick up, give time for people to sell, to get out. RKT, one that we have continuously talked about, had another 7% day, and it's absorbing this sell order block right here that we're seeing. And if this continues to happen, if volume increases tomorrow, we could see a very quick move to 20 plus. Keep an eye on RKT. As far as AMC goes, very briefly, the last time AMC traded kind of above the 50 EMA was quite a long time. It was actually after we had this short squeeze. And if you come and you continue to take a deep dive, whenever we have a quote unquote squeeze or pop, we get rejected off of it. And we even saw that back in May of this year. We got very, very close to it. So right now, the pop for AMC with low volume again comes to the 50. We saw it right here as well, got shut down, which brings you about to $3.60, and we're only trading at $2.84. Now, can we get above that? Lottery Shocks, can we get above that? Why have we not gone above that? Well, the answer is yes, but when we have some sort of catastrophic move or short squeeze, which is what we saw back here, the 50 wasn't really much of an issue. We broke straight out of that. In fact, we broke above the 200, so on and so on and so on. In which case, I would watch that as the next level. if we were to break out of the 50 with some volume, which is a 200, which would actually bring you right to this beautiful gap fill, which is right around 41 bucks. Overall, just wanted to give some brief coverage on that. Earthquake happened in New York today. I don't believe it was a crazy or major one. AMD sold off a bit on earnings. It's down about 5%. I want to talk about AMD very quickly. I believe AMD is going to give profit takers one more opportunity to sell at 170 if we are going to continue lower. In other words, one little pop to 170.30 before selling off lower and going with possibly what the market is going to do. I'm not saying that is what's going to happen, but possibly with what the market is going to do. Otherwise, this could be a fake out to the downside. We saw I got shaken out of ELF and then it ran back to 123. So again, if this is a long term for you, 5+ years, don't worry about this. But if this is a short term, aka 6 months to a year, you might want to evaluate the move you get when we move back up to 170. Amazon is one that I'm adding into the long-term portfolio. Alerted Discord today. I believe it's of high value right here. I also believe we could sell off more based on the technical setup. If that happens, I will buy more when we get closer to 200 on Amazon. Jeff Bezos has also been selling Amazon, so there are major warning signals. I did not take a major position in it. SPY, 627.97, red on the day. What did this candle tell us? Well, to close the week last week, we got a bearish engulfing candle. Thursday with another one. Friday, gap down. And then yesterday, we had a gap fill. And then today, we couldn't hold that gap fill, but we did test higher at 632, which is what we called out for. But ultimately, we closed closer to the fib level down here, which is right around 627.40 or 627.35. We did close above that, get a candle above that. Tomorrow is going to tell us a lot. Are we going to open above 632 and kind of build a bigger candle? In that case, markets are back to bullish sentiment. Other words, are we going to build a base below 627, in which case bears are in control and we could be due for a longer correction. Now, I want to point something out as well. This is the January cycle for back in January of 2018 as well as 2021. I believe we are in very similar setups, and that goes for Bitcoin. Now, keep in mind for Bitcoin, we had a massive sell-off back here, January 2018, but a massive rally in January, February of 2021, in which case this correlates very well to Ethereum as well as altcoins. And I want to talk about that very quickly. If Ethereum gets another pop, pay attention to what I tell you. If Ethereum gets another pop on high volume, I think we could very quickly have a very fast alt season that ends within 1 month at all-time highs where Ethereum tests 7,000. XRP, same thing. This is what happens. One last violent move up in a very brief period within a month from now. Bringing XRP to, I can't really give you a target, but it's a wide range of anywhere between $3.60 to about $20 plus. Will that happen? I'm not calling for that. Possibly. I just want to tell you what is going on, and that goes for altcoins in general, as they are telling us that things are getting ugly. They only get ugly when Bitcoin was uglier. And what I mean by that is once Bitcoin really crashes down is when you could actually see rotation into alts. So it's not saying that the season is dead. And that's why I brought two different scenarios from 2018 as well as 2021 to kind of tell you that Bitcoin as well as altcoins could have a violent move higher. But if Bitcoin doesn't have that violent move higher, that doesn't mean altcoins aren't going to. Now, that might sound a little bit confusing. Just pay attention to Bitcoin. Watch for a break under 111,800. And that is what we'll watch. And this goes for the S&P 500 too. And it'll also be interesting to see if they decide that they want to trade separate from each other. In other words, SPY crash, but Bitcoin holds its own. That would be interesting as well. All I know is during the volatility periods is when we see short squeezes act up because money can't be positioned correctly or fast enough in the right spots for big money. Overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn post notifications on your way out. Drop a comment down below. That is it. God bless. Lottery sucks out.